You know, now that I'm looking at this thing, it's probably good that that my idea didn't actually work out. It's actually not so doesn't look so good with the grain popping out. There's a little bit of accent in there left over from the other catastrophe. So what's going to happen now is this has been sanded down, and I'm just raising the grain up, and then I'll go over it again with lightly with the 320, no, 220. I did that on the front already. It's ready to go. And then when I get that done, I'm going to try to figure out the paint pattern scheme that I'm going to use on this thing. Because like every time I tell you, I come up with a different idea. And since the last time, I already have another idea. I'm so screwed. I'll be back. All right. Well, there it is again. It's back down to 80 grit. I had to sand it a while, but it's all good. There's you can still see some dark streaks left in there from the filler, but it's not going to matter because my other idea isn't going to allow you to worry about that. So I won't have to worry about it either. So I'm just going to keep sanding this. I'm going to take this up to, I think, I'm not going to go all the way up to 320 this time. I'm going to go to like 220. So I got 2 steps to go, and then I'll be back. Hey everybody. So anybody who's watched any of my other previous building and error and trial videos, see, it's mostly error than a trial, and I'm usually the one who's always guilty. But I got this thing all sanded back down. It's at 180 all the way around, front and back. The sides are already sanded down to 320 from the last time because I didn't do anything to those. So I'm just going to leave those as they are. I'm going to go up one more grit here on the front and the back. And then I'm going to tape off something. So I'll be back. All right. Well, there it is. That is sanded up to what is that? 240. And then I just went over it with some surface prep. So it just kind of clean up all the dust real good. That's also going to raise the grain. And then I'll go back over it again with, I'm thinking I'm just going to go over it really super lightly again with some 240. And that'll take care of the front. The back is already sanded to the same point. It just needs to have just needs to be degreased and have the grain raised. You can see it's starting to dry here already, so that's a good sign. So once this is all done on the front and the back, then I'm going to do and try to figure out what I'm going to do for the overall paint on this thing. I've got a couple ideas, and every time I look at this thing, I keep changing my mind. So we'll see how it goes. I'll be back. So while that's still drying, let me show you something else I got going on. So over here I got this grinder stand that was donated very kindly. And then so I decided what I was going to do is make me a little workstation for doing work on the guitars. So here's a like a carver's vise, guitar vise, whatever you want to call it. It's got this cool little crank handle. It's got a screw that goes all the way through this thing, and these have hickory, I think they said, jaws on there, and those are rotatable. And then that's going to sit on top of here with this huge screw going up through this plate. And there's something else. Where's that other thing? I got this board that's going to sit between the flange plate and the vise, and it slides back and forth. Actually, it pivots right there, and there's a riser that goes back and forth there with another piece of wood that sits up with a piece of felt on there, and that supports the body. Kind of a cool deal. But I got to figure out how I'm going to modify this thing here. I got to make there's slots in this thing, but I just got to make them wider so that this thing will fit. That's gonna be fun. So I'll be back on that sometime. But it's probably time to sand the base. So let's cruise back over here. And it's still got a little more drying to do. So I got something else I can do. I'll be back. Well, there we are again. It's all taped back up, and I got the paint rig mounted on now, so this thing is about as close to being ready to do something with as it's going to be. So, yeah, I'm about ready to do something. I'll be back. All right. Well, I'm getting ready to do this. I got this thing taped up the way I'm going to do it. Everything else is going to be black when I get done, so I'll be back in a few minutes. All right. Well, it's black with a wood stripe going down the middle. I'm just letting this thing soak in a little bit. I'm kind of doing this a different way, which I probably shouldn't because, well, you know me and doing different ways. But instead of using a sealer, I'm just going to use lacquer to fill the grain. So I'm going to let this stuff sit, and then I'll spray some more on it. And then it should come out level and smooth and nice looking. And then the rest is going to be all experimental. So that's it for now. Thanks again for checking this out. I'll probably be back in a little bit.